Was it a really bad decision to not rent a mixer? 2,000 pounds of concrete that we have in that foundation so far, but we have a long way to go. Okay, see ya. Thanks for editing.
Wish I was coming with you, but I should be done really soon. I might run down.
Okay, sounds good.
Joy has class at 11, so hopefully I can get down there and get in the garden before then.
Okay, cool.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
I asked the kids to help with the animal chores this morning because today I have a ton of stuff to do. All right, that's good. Brighton, I got a job for you, buddy. Brighton's gonna rake some of this dirt out of this grass. We want to keep as much dirt alive, as much grass alive as possible. Take this knife and cut all the plastic wrapping off the rebar.
Okay. What's wrong?
Right there. Cut the end, all the plastic wrapping off the ends, and then start dragging those pieces over here one at a time. You want me to get them out and you bring them over?
Ow.
Let me see if I can slide them out of there for you. I want them set right against the hill because we need that flat spot clear for. You can use it to keep from falling. You can use it to weight.
I'll fix.
I'm gonna drag this whole pile while I have it. See that bubble? Alright, that's good.
A hammer.
We're not gonna even look at this now. What we're looking at is whether this is in line. Whether this line is in line with this, and it's not. Look, there's a big gap there. So we need this to come up to that, like this, like there. Okay? So we need something we can stick underneath this that's a little fatter than that line to get this, that we can stick under here to get this to come up. So find something that can go under there. Or make something.
Do you want a hammer?
So an easy way to make something is to take a hammer and just split off chunks of wood like this.
Hey, I have the hammers.
This is the hammer you want. Okay, delivery truck is here, so we gotta go talk to him. Please don't touch my camera, guys.
What is it?
There's 16, there's 15, there's 4. So put a mark there. So the ½ an inch is easy. 1/4 inch is a half of a half, see? So those are these lines. They're a little bit shorter. Okay, we're just fine-tuning our footer forms to be something like this strong here. There's always that little paranoid bit of double checking at the last minute where you're like, wait a second, did I just totally mess up the dimensions on this? Because if you did and you pour the concrete, guess what? The only solution is tearing something out or pouring more concrete if you messed it up really bad. But I think we got it where it needs to be. We're gonna get our rebar tied in here next. And rebar basically makes concrete stronger. It makes it stronger. It increases the tensile strength of a total concrete unit when it has the steel rebar in it. So that's what we're doing now. All right, Wilder, you need to go over there and do your job.
Okay.
So I need to go about 3 inches shorter than this.
What is that?
What?
What is that?
This thing in my hand? It's like a grinder cutoff tool. That's a pretty good length. I'm going to match that length. Let's work for the short one at least. So.
Dad, I did my job now.
You did your job now?
Yeah.
These hold the rebar up in the concrete. If they go all the way to the bottom and sit on the ground, they won't do any work. And we want the rebar close to the bottom of the concrete because that's where the tensile strength needs to be. The compression strength needs to be on the top. So that rebar is closer to the bottom than the top. It makes it a really, really strong footer. Promise.
I don't think we have enough.
What?
Don't think we have enough.
Yeah, they can be spaced out more than that. They can be every like 4 feet. So just take out those two right there, or take out one of those.
It's fine.
Okay, now we're gonna just tie all this rebar together, and we'll be about ready to pour concrete. Just get a couple of them. I'll give you a little close-up of kind of what we got going on here. We just got a rebar wired in all the way around, all the way around. Yesterday we planted a bunch in the garden and thought, oh, it'll rain tonight. It was supposed to rain last night. Didn't rain. When I got down here this morning, I said, water, you have to water the garden, I told myself. I was getting the hoses set up, and then I got so into my work, I forgot. So we're gonna water the garden now. Grace has the chickens free ranging out here, and they look really happy out in all that spring grass. There's bugs everywhere. Spiders, snakes, everything's coming out in this warmer weather. Grace is watering. It looks like our covering over this broccoli came off since yesterday. I didn't put enough bags on it. It's generally easier to keep on than a fabric because the wind blows through it more. But all it takes is that one moth gets in there and you will have a moth ecosystem inside there. They have plenty to eat, the babies will breed with each other, and they'll just like live inside of there. So it doesn't take much. One moth could literally mess the whole thing up, I think. Oh no. Oh, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. When we were leaving earlier, I had my daughter check and make sure I had got the hose off. And I think I just said turn it off, and she just turned it all the way, the wrong way, because I had already turned it off, I guess. So now it's just a mess up here. Justice, it was already on, right? Come look at the mess. Fortunately though, it's not gotten over in here, so I'm about to start pouring concrete, and it shouldn't really affect this because it's going that way. What a mess, huh? Go grab that hose and pull it up into the garden, okay? Okay, ready to start mixing concrete, and here's what I'm wondering. Was it a really bad decision to not rent a mixer? There's 80 odd bags here. They won't all go into this footer. Some of them are for pouring cores after the wall's built with rebar in those. But was that a bad decision? Some of you have a ready answer for that. A lot of your answer, I'm pretty sure, is yes. That was a bad decision. All right, here we go. Okay, we need to build a bridge over these forms here so I don't adjust the forms accidentally by rolling a couple 100 pounds over the forms. So I'm just building a little bridge so we can get in and pour the inside portion, or keep going around here. I think this will span it pretty well. That should do. Okay, this is back-breaking work, but it is moving along. So far, including water, we're not quite halfway, and that is 2,000 pounds of concrete that we have in that foundation so far. But we have a long way to go. It's going really well. The kids have been helping, and I'm gonna be working alone for a little while. They're gonna go up to the house and take a break. Some of you may have seen this water in the back of here and said, oh no, like what are you gonna do? Well, what I'm doing with my lower level is mixing my lower level really dry and dumping it in on that water. And honestly, concrete doesn't dry. It cures. It's a chemical process of curing. So in fact, if concrete dries out in the first month after you pour it, it actually weakens it over the long term. So I'll show you what we do towards the end of the day to keep the concrete from drying out. And additionally, what we'll end up doing is actually digging a trench through the center of this that will run out to a French drain, which will be right here. And so water that ends up inside will come out here, and the inside will be filled with gravel. What you want in a root cellar like this is about 85 to 90% humidity. You want it quite moist. And that is, this is our moist root cellar. We'll have a dry storage space under the house, but we actually want this pretty moist, and that's why it won't have a concrete floor. It won't be sealed. Bria's pregnant and not feeling great. We got 2 kids a little under the weather. They've been really well all winter, but they're a little. Yeah, Joy's bringing you your tea.
I don't think the kids have been sick since we moved out of the house.
They had maybe one cold. We were sick, but I was thinking about this just the other day. Since we moved out of the moldy house, they've hardly been sick at all. Before that, they were, especially him,
every day,
was sick throughout 2 winters. And we were just like, what is happening? What is going on?
We had to put him on prednisone.
Which is something we would never, we would have before that said like, oh, we would never do that. But then when your kid can't breathe every day, for weeks, you will do anything.
Yeah, so he had to be on prednisone on and off for 2 winters. All of us were sick a lot. So this is his first real sickness. Like real sickness that I think I'll probably remember. Yeah. He might have had a little sniffle here or there. But the first one since moving out of our house a year and a half ago.
At Christmas, we had a little something.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a fever for a couple hours. That was it. Yeah,
we have been really, really well since we moved out. Almost no illness, and it's a stark contrast. So I'm so happy to be out of that house.
He hasn't even had to use his inhaler for this cold.
He hasn't used his inhaler for like 2 years. For like a year and a half.
Since we moved out.
Yeah.
He hasn't needed it. I used to sleep with it, actually. We had one in every car. I slept with it at night. His nebulizer was always ready. So. And
we thought, oh, our kids have asthma.
Well.
I mean, that's kind of what we were thinking. Is like, they've got reactive airways. This is just something we have to deal with. But it was like, oh, wait, no. This is what's causing it. More.
We had to go to the urgent care with him a few different times, like, because like the doctor wasn't open or whatever. It was a mess. And it's just so nice. Like, I know he doesn't feel well right now, but it's nice to know that I'm not sitting here scared.
Yeah, I can't tell you the number of times we were up with him, and then not only him, but others. Just, you know, we've called the doctor, we've been to the doctor, we've got meds, we've got an inhaler, and then we're up in the kitchen at 1 in the morning, holding him, boiling water, turning on the shower, humidifying the air, and just holding him and like watching him breathe. And those of you who have kids who have reactive airways or asthma, like, you know what we're talking about. It's the scariest thing in the world. That, because breathing for a kid is what can mess you up. It can take you out really fast. I mean, it makes me actually want to cry almost to think about those nights holding this boy. And we would take turns doing it, but I know some nights I was, you probably did more than me, but some nights I would be up.
More than me, because I usually had a baby I was taking care of too.
Till 2 in the morning holding him, because when he laid down he'd get so gunky, and then I'd go just let him sleep on my chest, so I knew I wouldn't miss anything. And sitting up, I would sleep sitting up, which hurt my back because I wanted him upright. And I would know if he was having any issue. I wouldn't miss it in my sleep.
I remember that. I still know where his inhalers are.
Yeah, but we haven't used them.
No, I haven't used them, but I do still know where they are. I don't know if I'll ever not know where the inhalers are. So. But this is amazing. He's not wheezing. He doesn't have, what's it called when they're, what's that called?
Bronchoconstriction?
No, but when you see it in their chest, so you know.
Retractions?
He's not having retractions. He's just sick, just like a kid. No big deal.
Whereas in the past, when we were in the house, every virus would like just be this spiral.
For weeks.
of reactive airways, but bronchial constriction. It would just.
Then we'd have to go get prednisone to bring him back to square one so that he could breathe again. Then he'd get sick again the second we went to church or to homeschool co-op or anywhere.
I didn't plan on talking about this all, but the moment when you said we've been well, I was like, that's what I was just thinking.
There isn't a single onion that's not mushy.
The onions are mushy. You'll have to get one still. What if the outsides get soft? You'll have to cut and just peel off the nasty layers. They're not bad. They're not that bad. They're not rotten. They're just getting mushy. And then use the inside. Ugh, I know. Thank you. Joy's making chicken soup for the soul. No, chicken soup for the sick. I already cooked the chicken, so she's just picking the chicken and cooking some celery and onion and then kind of assembling it. And then we'll add some noodles as well. I want to show you something. I want to tell you something that I think is so sweet. Bree's been saying, what are we going to do with all the mud? The kids go down to the homestead and get covered with mud, come back like 3 times every day. So this, my son here, 7-year-old, Justice, such a sweet heart he has and such a manly man. He, without anyone asking him, he went to the dirty clothes, sorted through the dirty clothes, got all the dirtiest dirty clothes, and he's actually hand washing them out here. Don't be embarrassed. It's such a nice thing you're doing. That's such a nice thing. And drying them out here. And then we'll throw them in the washing machine, right? Great. Thank you. That just makes me proud of him. He's just thinking of his mom. Like, how can I make my mom's life easier? All right, we gotta have onions in our soup. No, they're not. They're not rotten. Let's take a peek and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, see, they're sprouting inside. There's no rottiness. It's just they're soft. Let's go. Come on. Okay, it's just me working down here, which I don't mind at all. The kids do help, but it's also maybe mainly educational for them, but they actually do help. Like at one point I got my wheelbarrow stuck back here in the mud and Grace actually helped me pull it out. I'm done with one pallet. That's 35 bags. It's a lot of concrete, and there's only one thing I can think of doing to celebrate, and that's mix the next pallet. You know, I had this strange thought. It's strange, but it's not strange. While I work, I'll share it with you. The thought I had is, I'm kind of like Noah, building this oddity of a structure while my neighbors laugh at me. Now, it falls apart when I think that God told Noah, a flood is coming, build an ark. God didn't tell me that, and I don't think that disaster is coming. However, the idea holds together to the extent that God did put it on my heart to prepare for hard times. In a quiet voice, He did move us to move to the country and to grow our own food. It's not because I think a flood's coming that'll be a 2,000-year flood. It's because this is what everyone did as their insurance just 100 years ago. So maybe those neighbors aren't really laughing at me, though I think they do sometimes chuckle under their breath while I'm over here slaving away to build an antiquated, outdated structure. Who needs a root cellar anymore? I think they actually probably admire it on some level because it's what their parents did, or at least their grandparents. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about while I'm working away in the yard. Noah. How are you?
Daddy.
Good. Barefoot, guys, all of you, huh? What do you think, Justice? Are we making good progress?
You are. Can I mix it?
No, I want to do it. It's too dusty for you. Alright, no, you can't walk on it. That part's hard enough for you, but jump off. Don't get on it anywhere else. Not really. It's pretty dry. Or it's pretty hard. Angle here. Angle here. Okay, we do have too much down there. And then you can do this section and just shove this down into that corner when you get there, okay? Okay, it's actually starting, it's about to get dark and still have a little bit to go. Not too much though, we're closing in on it. I will have to do the animal chores in the dark, but we're really getting there. There's more to do after I get it in though. I have to cover it all with plastic. That's what I told you. You got to keep your concrete from drying out, at least in your first days. Ideally for a month or so to get that, the most strength out of it possible. So I have been going back and watering behind me, keeping this really wet, and then I'll cover it all with plastic. Then I've got to cover all this with plastic. I don't think this beautiful clear sky is going to drop any rain, but I'm not in the business of making bricks. Will you go get me my roll of plastic? It's in your shed you play in, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think it's just sitting in there to the side. Just, I think it's right there to the side, okay? The last pour. You can spread it out each way.
What?
Guess how many pounds of concrete this is?
What?
About 5,300 pounds of wet concrete that we put in today. Okay guys, did you hear that? 5,300 pounds of wet concrete that we just mixed by hand today. We got our footer in the ground. I can't show you anything else. I could just talk to you here in the dark. Hey, guess what?
You got it done.
We got it done.
I knew you would. Good job.
Right, and you can go walk on it in the morning. If you
It
feel
doesn't
good
have to
enough.
cure.
Well, you'll see. It'll be hard.
We're looking at babies.
Oh,
That's how big it is.
So
That's
now
how
it
big
looks like
it
a
is.
snail and
That's
a
so cool.
slug.
But 2 of them.
Well, I should build a calf of that.
hands full, heart fuller, belly fuller.
Belly fullest.
Guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you in tomorrow's video. It's been another great day on the homestead.